Hey everybody, it's ShadowStar here, and today is the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who. So what better way to celebrate than me finally doing a video ranking every modern season from my least favorite to my favorite. So it's oftentimes tricky to do rankings, but I feel like, for the most part, I feel pretty firmly about where I've made these placements. So let's just get started with probably my least favorite of the modern seasons, Series 13. Okay, this one was pretty easy to figure out. Series 13 is a mess. There are some good moments. The Angels episode had some good stuff in it, and the Sontarans were a cool villain, but otherwise, the other episodes are just a mess. The first episode set up a million things, and half of it never paid off. The ending was just a rushed mess and didn't pay off enough stuff. Some plot lines felt like they didn't go anywhere. Some characters felt like they weren't needed, and other characters were pushed to the side when they were needed. Dan is set up as a companion for the season and barely does anything. Series 13 as a whole was a mess. I get what they were going for with an overarching story, and it was nice to try that with the small season and the overarching story, but it was just way too much crammed into the season. Let's move on to Series 11. Now, there are some good stuff about Series 11. The opening episode is good, Rosa is good, and Demons of the Punjab is a great episode. So clearly the grounded or historical episodes are really good. But the rest, pretty weak for an opening season. Now, I get what they were going for with the whole fresh take, no returning villains, we're just going to do our own thing. And in some way it was nice to have a fresh take and not be bogged down with 1,000 things like which had been happening in some of the other seasons. On the other hand, there's not much memorable I can say about it. The only two major episodes I really like are the historical episodes. Otherwise, there's no crazy holy shit moments like there are on later seasons. There's nothing outstanding, but there's nothing that truly upsets me either. Now let's move on to Series 7. Now, this is an interesting one. I don't know how people feel about Series 7. There are some good stuff. I do like, say, Amy and Rory in the first few episodes, but even then, their first few episodes aren't all that great. You've got some episodes, like Asylum of the Daleks has some good stuff, but it's also a weak episode. The Angels is a messy episode, although the goodbye scene is all right. Clara's introductory episode is nice, and Rings of Akaton has good moments, but then I feel like everything between, say, Rings of Akaton and Name of the Doctor is just a blur, like Hyde, Crimson Horror, Cold War. I don't know if I might be forgetting some. I feel like those whole bunch of episodes are just ones I don't remember very well. They're probably ones where I could watch them and, say, enjoy them in the heat of the moment, but they're not ones that stick out in my mind. To be honest, there's not much about Series 7 that sticks out in my mind. Even Name of the Doctor isn't that amazing. It's just, set up for stuff that's going to come later. And again, I'm not trying to hate on Series 7. It's got some good stuff, but it's definitely on the lower end. Now, Series 12, it's the controversial season. It does have some good stuff, which is why it's made it this far. Spyfall is the reason it's made it this far. And there are some hype moments, like the Master is really great, the Jadoon are great, Jack's great, the Ruth Doctor, at least as a person, is a really cool concept, but otherwise, let's see, you've got some stuff, say, such as Orphan 55 and Praxeus and Can You Hear Me, which are just the most confusing or messy or annoying episodes that have ever existed. And then you've got the controversial episodes like Fugitive of the Jadoon and The Timeless Children. Let's face it, okay, sure, it's nice you get us talking with the controversy, but The Timeless Child just opens up a billion questions, and I've already talked about that in length in my Series 12 review, but then, just as a reminder, although it got us talking and although there are some cool moments, controversy is not necessarily something you want in a season, so Series 12 was only going to rank so far, and it isn't definitely making it very far in my list. This next one may surprise some people. Series 10. I know a lot of people love Series 10. And yes, the finale of Series 10 is really great. Pilot is a good opener, and I enjoy Bill as a companion. And it's the type of thing where, on the whole, I remember Series 10 as having good moments like Missy and Nardole. But I remember in my recent rewatch a while back, realizing that despite good moments being scattered around, the overall episodes are not that good. Knock Knock, not a great episode. Smiles, alright. Eat as a Light is okay, I guess. Empress of Mars is The Pyramid is a messy episode, and so are the monks. The only good part is Extremis. The finale is absolutely amazing, but again, it feels like a case where they sprinkle good scenes at the beginning and end of every episode, but the concept behind each episode, for the most of them anyway, are ones that I don't enjoy that very much. So, I get why people like Series 10, but at the same time, looking back, it wasn't as amazing as it could have been. Right, speaking of also controversial takes, it's time for Series 5. Now, again, this isn't me hating Series 5, and quite frankly, anything above this point is already a good season, but it's not a great season. We're at the kind of middle part of the ranking, and Series 5 is where it belongs, in the middle. There are some good moments. The 11th Hour is a good moment. Victories of Daleks are a good moment. But I don't know, there's something about the vibe of Series 5 that feels off. It feels too, for lack of a better word, whimsical and fairy tale, if that even makes sense. There was a tone they were going for in Series 5, and it doesn't have the heavy hitters of, say, later Matt Smith episodes. Amy doesn't really, because Amy's never been a companion I like, and some of her most cringe-worthy moments are in Series 5, especially the beginning. The best part of the 11th Doctor's era is Rory, and he's barely in Series 5. There are some good moments, like I said, this is still a middle-of-the-ground season. So, some good, some bad, but let's move on. Now, first time we're going to be seeing Tennant is Series 2, his weakest of his 3 seasons, but still pretty good. Like I said, everything from this point in the ranking is still good. There's just a lot one better one to go. We're literally in the middle of the round here. Series 2, it's got School Reunion, it's got the Cybermen 2-parter, it's got the Satan Pit 2-parter. Both of those are really good 2-parters. I think people forget how underrated the Cybermen 2-parter is. And even more underrated is a Satan Pit, one of my absolutely favorite 2-parters that so many people overlook, because there's a lot of really cool philosophical stuff. There's a lot of cool, the music is really nice. I love the vibe of the whole episode, Then you got episodes like The Idiot's Lantern, School Reunion. All of those are great episodes. Tooth and Claw's a pretty good average episode. It's got a lot of good, nice, comfortable, average episodes, and a few heavy hitters, and then a few weak ones like Fear Her and Love and Monsters. So like I said, Series 2 perfectly fits for being basically the middle of the list. So, moving on to my favorite of the Matt Smith seasons, Series 6. Yes, there are weak moments, but overall, I remember last time I rewatched this season, absolutely loving Series 6. The opening 2-parter is one of my favorites. Good Man Goes to War, one of my favorites. The Flash parter, and then there's a lot of episodes that have cool concepts, like The Flash Gangers has a cool concept. The Girl Who Waited has a cool concept. The God Complex has a cool concept. Series 6 has a lot of good concepts with all of their episodes, and I believe Night Terrors is the only episode I truly hate. You've got a lot of I think Matt Smith's best moments are in Series 6, whether it's the opening 2-parter or Good Man Goes to War. You know who else has a lot of good moments in Series 6? Rory. Series 6 is the season of Rory having great moments. Oh, and River is the season of River, and she's in it a lot. So yeah, we're climbing up the way of good seasons, and Series 6 is probably the best of the Matt Smith seasons. Alright, time for Series 1. Series 1 is such a well-crafted season. For being not only the first season, it's so well-crafted in the fact that almost every episode kind of interconnects with later episodes. Long Game kind of connects to the finale. There's Bad Wolf threading throughout all the episodes. You've got the Unquiet Dead setting up the rift. You've got you've got Rose, who, Rose is a bit cringeworthy in Series 2, but in Series 1, she's really a grounded companion in, say, the World War III episodes. God, I'm blanking on a lot of episode names today. You've got The Empty Child, one of Moffat's best episodes. You've got such a well-rounded season, and of course, the finale is amazing too. You've got so many well-rounded stuff that there's nothing wrong in Series 1. The long game is a little cringeworthy, but even that's still a pretty good episode that feels relevant both today and when it was made. Series 1 holds up so well and is able to be both a great introductory season, a great season for Christopher Eccleston, and just, overall, a very well-crafted season that when you look at the big picture, you realize all the episodes kind of tie into each other pretty well. Right, only 4 to go, and in my top 4, we have Series 8. I mean, I absolutely love Capaldi, and Series 8 has some heavy hitters. I mean, Deep Breath is probably the best opening episode there is. Deep Breath is a great opening episode. As much as some people don't like him, I actually really love Capaldi's dynamic with Danny Pink. The finale is great because, of course, you've got Missy. You've got some of my favorite episodes like Mummy on the Orient Express and Flatline. There are so many good Capaldi moments throughout Series 8. Clara is probably pretty good in Series 8 as well. Some a little bit off moments with Danny, but also I feel like Danny really pushes and challenges the Doctor in a way that hasn't happened before. We really get a bit into the Doctor's psychology in Series 8 as well. I'm trying to overgeneralize, but there was a lot in Series 8 to love, and there isn't much to hate about Series 8. Okay, In the Forest of the Night is pretty average, I guess. Kill the Moon sucks. But everything else is so outstanding that it pulls it up, I mean, it's got Flatline. It's God. It's such a good season. Right. Third place is the third series of Series 3. Martha's a brilliant companion, isn't she? She really gets put through the ringer. I mean, I feel like Series 3 is such a well-contained season. I don't know if it's one that people forget because it's overlooked by what comes after it, but I feel like Series 3 has such good ones in it. The finale is great. Martha gets to do so much in so many episodes. It's the season that gave us Blink. It's the season that gave us The Family of Blood. Another great season, another great story for Martha. The opening episodes are great for Martha as well, like Gridlock and the Shakespeare one's all right. There's a few cringy dialogue in that one, but and then and the New York episode. I know some people don't like Evolution of the Daleks. I love it. So again, I can't think of any bad episodes in Series 3. 42 is all right. It's kind of average. I mean, it's Chibnall. What do you expect? But, there's no bad episodes in Series 3, so it makes sense it's going to make it this high. Series 3, a really well-crafted season that I feel like needs to be talked about way more because Martha deserves a lot of credit. She's a great companion that goes through so much, and I feel like she was just a perfect companion after everything we had with Rose. All right, top 2. And some people might have thought that this should have been the top position, but I'm putting Series 4 in second place. Series 4 is absolutely an outstanding season. Series 4 does not have a single bad episode in it. Series 4 has just epic episode after epic episode. Donna is one of everyone's favorite companions. The Doctor is at his best in this season. Every episode is great. The opening is a nice comedic episode. You've got heavy episodes like the Pompeii episode. You've got, another heavy episode with the Ood episode. Then you got the Sontarans and Martha comes back, so you get Martha coming back. Then you get the Doctor's daughter. Then you get the lighthearted fun episode of Unicorn and a Wasp. Then you get the library, which sets up River, has amazing setup for everything. Moffat really knows how to plant all the seeds. It's a creepy episode. Everyone loves that one. Then you get Midnight, another creepy episode that it's a little annoying, but can be creepy. Turn Left is basically Russell T Davies showing off and saying, look at this amazing world I've created, and then finishing it off with the finale, which is basically a giant-ass crossover of the last 4 seasons. Everybody loves Series 4. So why is it not in top position? Because if you've ever seen my videos before, you will know that my favorite favorite series is Series 9. Sure, there's some bias showing here, but hey, it's my damn list, alright? Series 9. I love Peter Capaldi in Series 9. I love a lot of the things in Series 9. Heaven Sent is one of the best modern episodes there ever is. Followed by the Zygon two-parter, one of the absolute best episodes, with that amazing speech and the entire episode being perfect. It's rare that I compliment Doctor Who episodes on, the, say, political overtones or anything like that, but the Zygon invasion does it so well with its overtones and parallels to real-world situations. I know some people don't like Ashilda. I love Ashilda. She was delightful in her first episode. The second episode really showcases what it's like to be an immortal woman living in the Middle Ages. Face of Raven was a brilliant exit for Clara. Okay, Hellbent had some controversial scenes, but the Doctor was still amazing in it. Let's not deny, Capaldi's amazing in basically every single second he's in. He's the star of the show. The opening two-parter is brilliant because you get Missy, you get Davros, although there's a weird moment with Davros, let's not think about that, but everything else is brilliant. The Doctor's brilliant in episodes. I mean, the Doctor has some great speeches with Davros in that first episode. Missy's amazing in it. Clara, I know some people say, Series 9 was a Clara show, but Clara is my favorite. There's no denying that there was some bias here because, Series 9 was the first season I watched as it was airing. I had watched the first 8 seasons as a binge watch leading up to it. And then Series 9 was the first time I was watching a season as it aired with everyone else. So I remember all the hype, all the excitement, all the discussions, everything. So yes, of course, there's gonna be some nostalgia bias. But even beyond that, I'm backing it up by saying, have you seen the Zygon Invasion, Heaven Sent? Have you seen how Capaldi is amazing? Series 9 will always be my favorite. And if you want to hear me rant on about how amazing it is, go watch my Series 9 review. But enough of that. That has been my ranking of all the Doctor Who seasons, with Series 13 being the worst, Series 9 being the best. Let me know what you think, because I feel like some of the placements might be a bit odd. Some people have a much more favoritism to Matt Smith and think his seasons should have been a bit higher. Others might be shocked by my placement of certain other seasons. Others might be shocked of where some are high and some are low. But hey, it's my list, and I'm oftentimes a bit different about Doctor Who opinions. Sometimes. But there's no denying some universal truths. Anyway, this has been the 60th anniversary. This has been my ranking video. I may or may not be doing reviews of the upcoming episodes. I still don't know if I'll even be watching them, but enough about that. I will see you next time for more Doctor Who stuff and other things as well. See you next time, guys.